different types of populations like teakwood, lotus plants, all these population, us, that is human populations. So different types of populations. Now populations has some population attributes. Okay, now under the section of populations, we see we see the rates. Okay, we see the rates. Now individual may have births or deaths. An individual can born, an individual can die, but population has rates. Rates refers to per capita births and deaths. So per capita births and deaths is the rates of population. Now what is rate? Rate is the change. Rate is the change. You see, express or change. Now these can be in numbers. So change in numbers, and these numbers can be increased. So when population birth is increasing, so it increasing. When population birth is decreasing, that is decreasing with respect to members of the population. Okay, so change with respect to member of the population is the rates. It means respect to the initial members of the population. Now let's take an example in a pond. As we see in pond, take an example of lotus plants. There is a population of lotus plant. Population, what is population? It is the same species. It is the same species can reproduce. Okay, so the lotus plant. Now, so in a pond, let's take 20 lotus plants last year. Okay, so 20 lotus plants last year. Now, so this is a population. A species can increase their number by reproduction. Population, in population, reproduction takes place between the same species. Now, so through the reproduction, 8 new plants added. Now, initially it was 20. Now, reproduction, 8 new plants are added. Now, so 20 plus 8 becomes 28. So, taking the current population to 28. So, as we already seen that what is rate? Rate, it's the change in number. So it was initially 20, and a rate with respect to the members of the population. So on the denominator it's 20, and what is the change? So initially it was 20. Now after the reproduction, 8 new plants added, so it becomes 28. So 20 minus 20, 28 minus 20. So change is the 8 with respect to the initial members, that is 20. So 8 by 20 becomes 0.4. So this was the increase rate of the population. This was the example of increase rate of population. So 0.4 offspring per lotus per year. Okay, so change divided by initial number. You have to remember change divided by initial number, that's it. And offspring per lotus per year. Okay, now take an second example. So in this second example we see the death. In the first example we see the birth. Now if 4 individual in a lab population, 40 fruit flies died. So 4 individuals in a lab population of 40 fruit flies died. So 4 individual died, it was 40. You see the difference? It's already tell the difference, like 4 4 is the change. It was 40 fruit flies but died is 4. You see, so 40 minus 4 becomes 36. So 40 minus 36 is 4. So the change is 4. So we take on top side is 4 divided by 40, because 40 was the initial number. So 4 divided by 40, gives the 0.1 individuals per fruit fly per week. Okay, and what about the time? It's a offspring per lotus per year, because in the question it's given the you see, if in a pond there were 20 lotus plants last year, so with respect to the years, so this is why per year. Now in here, why the per week? Because it says say a week, you see, it's given during a specified time interval. Say a week, say a day, say a month. So 4 divided by 40 gives 0.1 individuals per fruit fly per week. So this was about the birth rates and death rates of population. Very important, birth rates and death rates of population. We see the first example, that is lotus plants, that has 20 and 8 new plants added, so becomes 28. So real change is 8, so 8 divided by 20 becomes 0.4 offspring per lotus per year. Now example of death rates, okay, of population. The fruit fly, 4 individuals died from 14 fruit flies. The total change is 4, because becomes 36. So 40 minus 36 is 4. Say a week, so 4 divided by 40 gives 0.1 individuals per fruit fly per week. So this was the populations that has birth rates and death rates attributes. Though individual may have births and deaths, but population has birth rates and death rates. We have seen their examples. Okay.